speak or think they may want to speak, please come up and sign in. Because you sign in doesn't mean you have to, but please sign in, that way if you want to speak.
And we can sign the book afterwards, correct? If we want to speak, we don't have to sign now.
It's like being down in school.
It's too close. Okay. Is this going to be in the way?
No, you're fine. Make sense.
Yes, that is true.
Any discussions, comments, concerns?
We gonna do the minutes first?
I just started with the financials
Oh, okay.
for May. I have no discussion. Anyone else? No. I make a motion that we approve the financials as written. Second.
Yes.
Okay.
Laura? Yes. Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. April meeting minutes from April 14th. Has everyone had a chance to review?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a correction. Under buildings and grounds, I made a motion to purchase 75 geraniums, and it does say 100. So I think we discussed 100, but we ended up with 75. So that's...
Well, they charged us for 125.
We got 75 for us and 50 for the cemetery association.
Yeah.
So those are for the cemetery association, like we do every year. So with the township purchased 75. So I have that correction. I did have a question because I can't recall. Mike Brown asked for permission to clean the headstones. Is that something we told him just, yeah, go ahead, or did we vote on that? I don't even think we made a motion.
We didn't make a motion, we just
Okay.
told you, feel free to go ahead.
Feel free to do that. And then in old business, I did bring up the December decoration charges. It just wasn't in the minutes. It was omitted about the $358.56. And then in new business, everything looked good. We did discuss about Nancy's hours briefly, and that was omitted. So if we could make those additions and corrections, that would be good with me. Anyone else have anything for April?
I do not.
I don't.
Ed? Okay, so pending those. And then May, did everyone get a chance to review May?
Yes.
I didn't. I have a couple revisions. These are for May 12th, page 2, under building and grounds. It says, weather permitting, mulching will be done at the circle this week, previously approved. The roof there is near completion. I think it should say fire department, just so we know which roof it is. It just says the roof there. And then also on the second part where it says the driller has permit in hand, we talked about Haas Brother Excavating. Is that the name of the driller? Haas Brothers?
That is the name of the company that's going to do underground boring to run the lines
Okay.
from the well to the building, so we don't have to excavate the
Okay.
whole way.
I didn't see that name, the Haas Brothers. I don't know how to spell it, but I didn't see it in there. I didn't know if they were the driller or if they were the borers, so maybe we could add that in. And then just one more thing, under fire department, still on page 2. The second part, it says while there it was discovered that 3 of the tires had broken belts. The total for all adjustments was $840. Then it blanks, a motion was made to pay the bill. It needs to say who made the motion. That's all I have. And then I'm happy to approve them with those corrections made.
Did you have anything, Ed?
No.
I was a little bit confused about about when we talked about the fire department with the parade. We talked about how there would be no sirens because that was what we intended to honor the fallen. And the wording, it says sirens were used in the past in honor of the fallen, not as a celebration. We intend to continue this practice. I just think that was a typo because it would be not continue this practice because we had no sirens. Pending those clarifications, I'm fine with that as well.
Good with me.
Let's go directly into the fire district communication. Just to let everyone know, many of you may be here to discuss the fire district. When Ed originally made arrangements for them to come and speak with us, we did not have a hearing at that time. So we have a lot on the agenda today, but since we did promise that they would be here, what we've done, what we've discussed is we will let them do a 15-20-minute overview. We're going to have a second meeting this month, the 4th Monday at 6 p.m. It's on the website, and that entire meeting will be a special meeting to discuss the fire district, so the whole community can come, ask questions, get all of the information, but that entire meeting will be just dedicated to questions and answers from them. So I think we're asking to hold all questions at that time or to speak with the gentleman afterwards just because we're on a very tight schedule today. So with that being said, I would like to introduce Jeff Bixler and Randy Porter to come and speak and give us some information.
I'm Jeff Bixler. I'm Randy Porter. I'm the fire chief of Charlestown Township. Lindberg Township and Charlestown Township got together a little while ago and started this concept. We didn't start the concept. We brought the concept back up about a fire district for certain communities. It's been done, it's been discussed before in the past. And what's happening right now with a lot of our townships, the 5 that we have coming to our meetings currently is Charlestown Township, Lindberg Township, Paris, Palmyra, and Deerfield. It's basically Southeast local schools. And so we all struggle with personnel. We all struggle making our calls. We, in some fashion or other, right? So we were looking to join forces as 5 townships coming together. Right now we're at a 30,000-foot view because we're collecting information at this point about the different districts or different townships and putting together a business plan. That business plan will come out as soon as we get all the information in. We're still waiting on some stuff. And so currently, all we are doing is we meet monthly on the fourth Wednesday of every month at 6 o'clock at Deerfield Town Hall. It is open to the public to come listen to those meetings as well. It's a trustees work session. So the trustees run it, and all we try to do is discuss what's going on with the progress thus far. There's a lot that goes into it. We're trying to keep egos out, and we're just trying to do what's best for all the communities. It doesn't mean all the communities have to join. It doesn't mean any of that. There's a lot of rumors flying out there already between them, right? It's hard, so we're here for rumor control also. We don't just want money, right? All the townships need money, right, to run their districts, but that'll be down the road, like when we start discussing the finances and all of that stuff. It's been said in a couple other communities that we don't want people. The purpose of forming a district is because we're struggling with people. We need to keep people, right? So we're not getting rid of entire departments. We're not getting rid of, a lot of people think they're losing their jobs. That's not the case, right? It's to form one big giant department within itself. Yes, there would be a board of trustees, not each township that is involved would assign one of their board members to the board that oversees the fire district. So the township has a say in what happens to the entire district. That district, those board members would then hire a fire chief. And then from that point on, it just breaks down however the fire chief and the board sees fit. So as me as the fire chief of Charlestown, is there a possibility I'm going to lose my job? Not really, because whoever becomes the chief probably wants the guy that's been running Charlestown Township for a long time to be the chief of that, or the assistant chief of that area. Whatever they call that person, don't get hung up on names. So we're not looking to get rid of people. We're not looking good of stuff. It's consolidating resources to save money. We're not going to say this tongue in cheek. We're never going to save money, right? What we're trying to do is provide the best service possible with the money that we have. And so there are small townships like Charlestown, and I think Deerfield's probably the biggest one in the district, right? So when you look at finances, does Deerfield, when things happen, does Deerfield pay a little more? Overall, sure, but also Deerfield's going to use it more. You're going to pay around what you normally would to do the same thing. So,
right now you have several departments that are working, as you said, together to respond and cover calls. Sometimes we find that Edinburgh doesn't have anybody, so we have to rely on Deerfield Palmyra. We find that Paris doesn't have anybody, they're relying on Edinburgh and Palmyra and sometimes Charlestown. This is what we're doing now. We're all struggling. And the reason that this discussion started was when I would drive by our fire station in Edinburgh and I'd say, oh, there's no cars there. That means that we might be in trouble today. The chiefs have taken it upon themselves, and from what I understand, to generate a call-in sheet to dispatch to let them know what departments have people on station. Well, what happens is that Deerfield has a call and they don't have enough people to cover the call. They call, for example, Edinburgh, and Edinburgh now sends a vehicle out. Not only is Edinburgh sending a vehicle out, but Deerfield, if they have one person that's responding, they send that vehicle out. And then maybe at different times you end up with 3 or 4 different vehicles just to get 3 or 4 people there. And they won't all be from the same department. We need to do something to try and help correct this. We need to do something that gives our residents a little bit more support, maybe confidence. Because right now, you may have a green fire truck, red fire truck, they could be coming from anywhere. And we're still short-staffed. It could be one person on an engine, one person on a squad. So this is to get the process hopefully working towards correcting that. Fire EMS district, in my opinion, is probably about the only thing that I know of right now that we can do. Because I know that if you take a look at what it's going to cost to run a fire department, in an EMS department and staff it full-time, well, Chuck, you could probably tell us real quick. But it's not cheap.
It's about $100,000 a guy.
So that's what we're looking at. So how do we have to figure out, and that's about right, yeah. I mean, you're gonna end up with full-time people, benefits, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't stop part-time. It doesn't start volunteer. We need those people. We can't afford to, I'm sure that we're not gonna be able to afford to hire 14 full-time staff people. But we will be able to hire X amount of full-time people at paramedic level and firefighter 2 level, and X amount of people that are part-time at different levels of care so that they can respond. We're gonna need that. But we have to start somewhere, and this is the beginning. That's about we've been looking around, and we're gonna need some help. We know we're gonna need help. We're gonna need some type of consultant, analysis and stuff, so we've been starting to look and lean towards that. Randy put out a survey to kind of get a general idea of what types of calls and equipment and everything else. I think population was in there, everything, just to kind of get us started so we can keep looking. I know there was surveys done before, but so far I have not been able to find the information on it that I would love to be able to get a hold of. Anyway, that is it in a nutshell.
That's our 30,000-foot view, and we will be back when you get back.
So I think our plan is next Monday, you're coming to our fire department just to talk to the fire department. And then the Monday after, we're going to have a special meeting. That way everybody has a chance to ask questions. We all have questions, we have concerns. This isn't something that the board in our township has made any opinion or decision on at this time. We're just learning and listening. So I thank you for bringing that information and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, see you around. I'll call you. Okay.
So also today we have a few guests I'll introduce. We have Commissioner Mike Tinlin here. I'm going to say hello to everyone. He's come to hang out with us
Hello,
today.
everyone. Hello.
Hello. And also we have our prosecuting attorney here, Mr. Tom McCarty. And today we are...
Assistant prosecutor.
Oh, I'm sorry, assistant prosecuting attorney, thank you. And we are having a hearing today is our plan. And I think, anytime we have these kind of situations, we have some talk at the beginning of this meeting. And it's been brought to our attention that maybe we need to go into executive session to discuss some conversation with the attorney. Anyone have discussion or concern about executive session? Well, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for ORC 121.22 to consider, how do we want to word this today?
Sheet 1 and 3.
Okay. For an investigation or charges or complaints against a public employee, how does that work?
That's 1. And
Okay.
sheet 3 is pending or imminent litigation.
And 2-3 pending or imminent litigation. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
I'll vote yes. Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
That's how it's all.
I'm gonna be leaving pretty soon.
Stand outside the door. Look in.
I've only done this for You're like my dad.
Right.
We don't even have that luxury here. No, I'm not going there. You guys are on your own.
Can we put the computer screen there on your chair?
What's that?
How are you?
FaceTime.
FaceTime, you like it?
We'll get a big screen.
Friday night dancing. I'll look up. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what it was, but there was some kind of way they used to do it where it would feed through in both directions. It's like, a certain thing that they used to do. That's I know. We need to.
But he is coming here. He is coming here.
Yeah, this guy's the only other
All right, I will make a motion that we exit executive session and enter back into regular session.
Second.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. So it was discussed that the appellant, if I'm saying that correctly, their counsels asked for another 30-day extension so they can prepare. So we have, discussed that that was what they were asking for. So I will make a motion that we extend the hearing per that request until our next regularly scheduled meeting in July, our first Monday meeting in July, the second Monday of the month.
I'll second it.
I vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. To be continued. All right, let's move on to communications.
Want to continue with public volunteering because I have some more. Whenever you're ready.
We usually do that after communications.
Okay.
Yeah. So communications.
So I received a letter just before the meeting, and it's from the Deerfield Volunteer Fire Department. On May 19, 2025, the Deerfield Fire Department met on our regular business meeting and unanimously voted to ask that the Deerfield trustees to partner with us to advise the group trying to start the Southeast Fire District that we don't want to be a part of the group. We feel that being a part of this group would be detrimental to our community we serve in our surrounding communities. Our taxpayers have created and supplied our community with the tools needed in case of an emergency. With the district, we would no longer have a station staffed at Deerfield. We would have to rely on emergency services coming from other jurisdictions to provide services to the Deerfield residents. This can and would lead to the loss of property and life. Our community is important to all of us. We volunteer to make sure we can give our residents the best service possible. So please team with us and stop the district in Deerfield Township, the Deerfield Township Volunteer Fire Department.
Pass that down to you, please. Tracy, do you have any other communication?
Just that we have July 30th, 9 to 10, coffee and donuts with the commissioners at, I forget what that's
Cafe
called.
14.
Yeah, right there on 14. So there's that.
Mike's buying.
I am mine.
All right.
And then we have the budget all done. We need a motion, to accept it and file it. And then we have that we have to do, and then I also have the NOPEC grant. So we need to make a resolution to accept the 2025 NOPEC grant. And then sign papers. And that's basically it, yeah. That's the whole thing there. And then there's the budget.
All right. Any major changes from the budget from last year, this time?
Not really, basically the same.
What are the changes to speak of it specific?
We just,
So in the fire department's expenses a little bit.
yeah, from the grant, that would be it.
I'll make the motion, we accept the budget as prepared by fiscal officer.
I will second.
Vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. And then this is the NOPEC grant.
What that is, they give us money every year that they use toward energy saving, window replacement lights, whatever it may be. And we talked about earlier, but apparently we did not make a resolution to the fact that we will accept that funds from them. They're just asking us to basically clean up, make the resolution that you will accept our donation to be used in the township.
I make a motion that we accept NOPEC's donation, grant money in full
For
I second.
2025.
for 2025.
I second.
I vote yes. We had talked about it, apparently
We just didn't
we
make
did
it.
not make that motion.
Laura?
They're asking us to
Yes.
clean it up.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. Okay. Did we clean up your list?
Yes.
All right. Any communications from you, Ed?
I do have one. We're going to now whatever. Portage County Recycling is going to wants to do a tire cleanup here. They want to do it June, when was it, 17th, 10 to 3.
Is that a Saturday?
No,
No.
they do not do any Saturdays. They provide 100% of the manpower for it. We don't even have to have any manpower on duty. We have to provide them with the space to put their roll-off boxes. They will provide the manpower to help the people with the tires and everything. They'll haul them away and bring another one back. Our only involvement is offering them the space to do it. And that was one of the dates they had left, so I went ahead and accepted it, since we don't have to have any manpower on duty, and they do not do any two-day events or Saturday events. Everybody gets the same one day, 10 to 3.
The town hall isn't being used that day. Do we know?
We don't need the town hall.
Just the parking lot?
No, we're gonna do
You
it.
wanna do it over
We're
there?
gonna do it over there. We don't
Okay.
want them big roll-off boxes coming on our asphalt, so it'll be,
Okay.
the tire roll-off will be down there, over in the area where the gravel's stored and everything. They can come in there, unload the tires, and they can drive out through here if they want to then. But we don't want any trucks up here.
Okay.
That was my plan anyway, so.
What time on June 17th?
10 to 3. And it's absolutely no cost to the township.
And what day is that?
It's a Wednesday.
Okay.
Do we need a motion?
Yes.
I move that we allow, is that the charm program doing that?
It does not say on their chart, it just says a grant they received in conjunction with the Portage County Health Department.
All right, so I will make a motion that we allow the Portage County Health Department to hold a tire drop-off here at our township garage June 17th from 10 to 3.
I second.
And, I'm sorry, yes.
Is it a
What
Tuesday?
day is that?
Let me check now.
Laura?
The 17th is a Tuesday.
Ed?
Yes,
Tiffany?
The 17th to Tuesday. Yes,
that's when it is.
Tuesday. I was told Wednesday is Tuesday. Okay,
It is
so
Tuesday.
yes, Tuesday.
Okay, we'll post this on the billboard up
Tiffany, did you
there.
say yes?
Yes.
I'm sorry, they do have a list of do's and don'ts, pretty basic. Limit 10 tires per household. Bring proof of Portage County residency, a driver's license, registration or something. They will accept car and passenger car tires, bicycle lawnmower tires. Tires with rims on it is a $5 fee per tire. No business, residents only, no agricultural tractor tires, no construction or trucking tires. And there's a phone number will be posted if any questions other than that. They're called Portage County Recycling District.
And I don't think this is limited to Deerfield residents, is it? Because it's a Portage
It's
County
yeah, they're
service.
looking for Portage County residents, not only Deerfield residents, but
And then if you do have tires to drop off, it's not as convenient, but the charm program on Mogador Road in Bridgefield allows that for all Deerfield residents. You're allowed so many per year, all Portage County residents. So just a very small meeting. But that's even better because it's free and it's close. Okay. Anything else, Ed?
No.
Laura, any communication?
Yeah, I have, excuse me, communication from Rebecca Abel from ODOT. I got an email this morning. ODOT has reviewed the circle again since early last year. Our stance has now changed a little bit since the recent sign upgrades from August of 2024 has been unsuccessful at mitigating crashes. Crash data is obtained from the Ohio Department of Public Safety. A query of the most recent complete 10 years of data was obtained. Between 2015 and 2024, there were a total of 8 failure to stop, or FTS, crashes at the circle, resulting in 7 roadway departure crashes into the grass island and 1 angle crash. FTS crash rates began to increase in 2023. Between 2015 and 2022, there were 2 FTS, which is 0.25 crashes per year. But between 2023 and 2024, there were 6 FTF crashes, 3 crashes per year. ODOT's review in 2024 contributed the spike to crashes because of old signs beyond their useful life. In the summer of 2024, larger, newer warning signs were installed that were related to the stop condition. 2025 crash data shows these new signs have not been effective at reducing the FTS crashes occurring at the circle. There have been at least 3 FTS crashes to date in 2025. We've already beat last year. The next step would be to consider LED stop signs on each approach. The next funding round for this type of work is June 30th. If awarded funding, the signs would be expected to be installed by the fall of this year. FTS crash summary is available in the table below. So just last year, we had 1 eastbound FTS. We had 1 northbound FTS. In 2023, we had 1 eastbound FTS, 1 northbound, 2 southbound, total of 4. This year already, we've had 1 eastbound, 1 westbound, and 1 southbound, and it's only June, and we've reached 3. One other thing that they suggested, but they don't normally do this in residential areas, would be transverse rumble strips. These could take some time because ODOT currently does not have a contractor able to install mill transverse rumble strips. But right now we're looking into other options with other contractors. LED stop signs appear to be the best option now after study to mitigate crashes and not disturb nearby residents. I've been emailing them crash pictures since January of 2024. I even said, what if we bought the stop signs? What if we paid for them? Nope, they're in charge of everything. So now they're saying that we qualify for that. So they are waiting on getting the funding awarded, and they should be placed this fall.
That's good. We actually asked for rumble strips in the past, and they flat out turned us down that they won't do them in residential areas, so
Right.
at least they're reconsidering.
They are reconsidering now for the rumble strips because they don't like to put them in residential areas.
Yep.
They would have to get an okay from the township. We would have to vote and send the resolution copy to them because they don't like to put them by houses.
I'd hate to live a house approaching the circle, rumble strips 24 hours a day.
Well, I live on
I
224,
really
and there's
would.
rumble strips in the middle on both edges, and I hear it all the time, so I can't imagine what it's like if it's going down the road. So we should be getting the LED stop signs at the circle this fall, after they get awarded their funding.
Always revisit the rumble strip idea
Yep.
if that doesn't resolve the issue.
Right.
Blinking lights. All right, anything else, Laura?
Nope.
I just have a quick update because I did attend the Southeast Fire District meeting on the 28th. Just to give everybody a little bit of an update there. There was a lot of talk about needing more meetings, more information. There were talks about surveys. They hadn't received all of the surveys yet, so not all of the information was available. We did speak about officers. I said I was not comfortable with voting for officers since Deerfield had not committed to being a part of the joint district, so that was yielded. The last surveys that we have for a district, I understand, were about 20 years old. Questions came up about mutual aid with other surrounding areas, since we would no longer be a township, we would be a district. There was conversation about that was going to be brought up at the next chiefs meeting. I asked about districts in the past that have been successful and some that hadn't, so there's some research going on about that. We talked about how many calls went unanswered in the last several years with each department, so that's information that they're trying to gather. And also, who was the department who was providing the mutual aid. We discussed having more informational meetings for the residents. We discussed a written business plan. As of right now, the district doesn't have a written business plan. I understand that's something that they're working on. You can't even decide if you like something or not if it's not in a written plan. So I believe that's in the works. And also, I did get in contact with the Kent State College of Public Health, and they're looking at getting some students to run numbers and to look at some data to help either support or not support some of the ideas, and that's pretty much it. I understand the idea is to have one of these meetings once a month, and I believe June's has been canceled. So just information gathering and just sharing what I learned at the meeting from everybody.
I have a comment about the survey. I talked to the chief and I advised him not to do the survey prior to Deerfield committing to joining into that district. And I understand you talked to him after that and asked him to do it, which is fine. However, I don't see the need for us to do a survey unless we decide to move forward with ordinance. That's quite a lengthy survey. It's taken a lot of hours to get that done. It's information that's not important to the district if we're not going to join. That was my point, asking him not to hold off until we make a decision as a township if we're going to move forward. And I'm still to that thing that I don't understand. If we decide that the next meeting we're not going to move forward with this, our people have spent hours upon hours upon hours and provided information that's null and void.
Did the other departments complain about the time that it took? Because it looked like pretty straightforward information.
Yeah, nobody's complained about it. We're still waiting on two. The other ones should be any minute. And if I could just for a moment, it's hard to make a business plan if we don't know the data. We can make a business plan for the other four townships, but you guys aren't going to get any information out of that because you're not going to know what the needs
But again, if we're not involved in it,
right.
we don't even need to include it in the business plan. I mean, it all kind of goes back to our agreeing to be involved in it or not being involved in it. Everything after that goes with it. Prior to that, we can't be included in the business plan that we're not agreed to be in.
I look at it a little differently. I don't think having that information is a bad thing. It's all public record, so it's nothing that's hidden or secret information.
Absolutely, it is all public
And having
record.
that deep dive into our own department to see, that doesn't affect whether we join a district or not. It's purely factual information. Taking that look into our inventory and our assets and things, I mean, that's something we should be doing anyway. That's information we should have anyway. So I think it would be useful to share, and sharing that information in no way, shape, or form commits us to joining the district. It just helps with the business plan. So I'm not of the same thinking.
I'm not saying to change anything. I was just making my point of why I'd asked him not to move forward. And you did, that's fine too. That's what I thought all the time, so.
I mean, all of this information, I mean, they could write us a FOIA request and get it if they wanted it, but they were just asking us to participate so they could run numbers and see. So I don't have a problem with it. I don't know, Laura, do you have any opinion on that either way?
I don't, because the information is public record and anybody can access it. So I have a question, Chief Porter. What other townships have turned in their surveys?
Myra, Charlestown, and Lindberg have, Paris is almost done.
Paris is almost done. They're getting theirs.
According to their trustee,
Ed CMAC.
That's how you say it. Yeah.
Okay, so you have 4 done. The fourth one is almost ready to go.
Correct.
Okay. Because I know at the Palmyra meeting, the Palmyra chief was working on his, and he had his almost ready to go.
Yes.
So, okay.
So do we need to have a motion, more discussion on doing the survey? How do
No,
you-
no, I'm all right. You had asked him to do it, that's fine. I don't think we need to have a motion.
Do you need a motion for us to do that? Okay.
Oh, no, to give it to you.
He's been working on it and stuff. I just wanted to make my point of why I asked him not to do it. But either way is fine with me.
Knowledge is power.
It is public record.
And that doesn't mean that we have to participate in any way, shape, or form, just information. Do you have an idea of when you might be able to complete that, or if you need help?
A couple months.
A couple of months?
We have to count every section of hose, we have to count every single thing in our station, every single.
We don't have that information already, like,
Not
ready?
every section of hose. The bathroom, how many bathrooms we have, and that kind of stuff. Chief Garvin has over 60 hours in it, he said, so.
If there's anything that I can do to help, I can sit there and count things, just let me know. Anything else for communications?
I have nothing.
Okay,
I have more, but I'll bring one up in buildings and grounds.
okay. Guest speakers, Mike and Lynn, did you have anything you wanted to share with us today? Or you just hanging out?
We've got a lot going on.
Yeah?
Our Marks Towers, those that are familiar with, those that aren't, we started a project 2 years ago out of state and federal grants, and the Marks Towers is a radio system to assist first responders, fire, police, state patrol, sheriff. And they pushed us, and we got our towers up and our buildings up pretty rapidly. One here in Deerfield, one in Suffield, and one in Garrettsville. Now that the towers are up, we can't get them hooked up. If everybody goes drives by and takes a look, Spectrum has all the wiring all wrapped up. It's outside the building, ready to go. And since November, I have been hammering on our state reps who oversees the technology department of the state to get this going. They call it an electrical computer problem. Some of the issues with the system, the towers, the antennas, and how it runs through the computer, they needed parts. They haven't gotten yet, so now we're waiting. Okay, we're in June. They pushed us, we were 4 months ahead of schedule to get everything done, so now our towers are up. They're also going to assist in wideband throughout the entire county. As you all know, during COVID, we had problems with some of the students who had to work at home. They weren't able to use their computers. Parents had to drive into a local library or somewhere that had access. Once these are up and running, everyone in the county will have Wi-Fi access, free. So that's why we're pushing, trying to get that going. Our end is done. We're just waiting for the state to complete. Myself and the other commissioners were around. Anybody needs anything, has any questions, feel free to call. We try to make it out 2 or 3 times a year at trustee meetings, and it's my turn. So, here I am. So if you have any questions, feel free to call. If we're not in, we'll call you right back. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I believe we can move on to public commentary.
Denise Adams.
I'm gonna wait till the end.
Okay. Roger Mansfield.
Roger Mansfield, I'm president of the Southeast Portage County Lions Club. And I have 2 requests. One, my father-in-law Herman Prebo and his wife Beth Prebo recently passed away. And Herman being a former trustee here, we would like to dedicate a bench that we get for the plastic that we collect and present it here to the town hall in memory of them. So I just wanted to get permission to be able to provide that bench. We have the bench, we have the nameplate being printed right now. So as soon as I have it, I can have it up here, within 1 My other request is, our district that we belong in, has 53 clubs in it, anywhere from Ashtabula down to East Liverpool. And they have what they call the Eye Care Foundation, that's part of our district. What that Eye Care Foundation does is they handle cases that a local Lions Club cannot afford to do, such as cataract surgeries, reading machines for the blind, that kind of stuff. They have a board that meets. They've been meeting the first Tuesday of the month at the Deerfield Friends Church. However, the church now has a recovery program going on there, and they would prefer no outside interference when they're having that program. So they are asking if it would be possible for them to meet here at the Town Hall. They have about 10 to 15 members that would be there, so it would be a short contingency. So that was the other request, was to see if they would be able to meet the second Tuesday of the month here at the Town Hall.
What time would they want to meet?
They usually meet at 7. Roughly their meetings are over by 8 or 8:30. It's usually about an hour, hour and a half.
Do we have anything that regularly meets on second Tuesday of the month? I don't think we do.
I don't have any problem with that.
No.
The only thing with the Tuesday night, because the practice for the choir.
Yes, I discussed it with her. She said they won't be meeting again until August.
Oh, okay.
So that would be clear of that.
So this isn't indefinitely going on every month, the second Tuesday? So what happens when the choir does so?
So they'll meet, like in the wintertime, they do a lot of Zoom meetings, just because they have members coming from Ashtabula and East Liverpool and so forth. So in the wintertime, they do more Zoom meetings than they do in the summer when they meet more in person.
I mean, pending any conflicts with the choir, since we've already agreed to let them use the facility on that night. That would be fine.
Do we need to make a motion on the bench? Because I'm all for the bench.
Well, yeah, let's do one at a time. I have a question about the bench too.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that as long as there's no conflict with the choir, that you guys can use the facility for your meetings the second Tuesday, whatever time it is. That doesn't matter to me.
I'll second.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
On the bench, we started collecting plastic for Sue Bell a long time ago. We still don't have a bench for her, but now we have one for Herman. What happened to hers? Is that still in the making, or?
We have a bench, we just haven't got a plate made up for her yet.
Okay.
So at that time, we can get 2 benches.
That was my concern, because we already made a motion to allow one for her, and I didn't want to bypass her and leave her set back there and be forgotten about.
Right, I gotta get a plate made up for her yet. But at that time, once we get the plate made up for her, we'll bring you a second bench.
These benches, we can use them outside the door if we need to?
They can be used outside. The only thing I would say is that you would want to find a way to fasten them to the ground, whether bolted to a cement or something, just so nobody walks away with them. They range about $350 to $400 if you purchase them outright. We do have we donated a bench to the Lindberg United Church when they had their 100th anniversary, and they in turn put it at Lindberg Town Hall. So, and that's how they did it. They just built a cement plat.
I just had those questions. I'm okay. I'll make the motion. We accept the donation of the bench to the township.
I second.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for everybody that helps participate by dropping out plastic. So
Yeah, while everybody's here, there's a collection box down at the township garage. Monday through Friday, 6:30 to about 3 o'clock. Anybody has any plastic bags, water softener bags, any plastic?
Any kind of a stretchable plastic. They want out of
Water softener
They
bags.
don't
yes.
accept plastic bottles or anything like that. It's kind of a stretchable plastic.
When you take the coverings off of some of your boats, some of the plastic, that can be used toward bench stuff too, if you need a place to,
Yeah.
rather than landfill it.
Yeah.
We
Shrink
can
wrap,
make, we
anything
can
like
make
that.
arrangements probably to give that to them, right?
Yeah, shrink wrap, anything like that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
Dennis Jones?
Yeah, I just sent out a voice by taking on this fire district. I've lived here most of my life, and I've used them a few times. I had a heart attack once, and they were there right away. So I have no inkling at all to even think about a fire district. We have a very good fire department, and I highly commend them. And I hate to see me have to wait 20 minutes to a half an hour to get service when they're 10 minutes down the road. So that's my opinion on it, and I wanted to voice it, and I will come to the meeting and find out a lot more about why they want to do this. But we're the biggest district, and I feel that we should stay our own district and not join these other little districts that help. You know, I mean, we still go to help. If they need help, Deerfield's always there, you know, so, you know, I've never heard them turn down any help from anybody in the neighborhood, you know, any of the districts. That's what I wanted to bring up. So.
Thank you for your comments.
Mark, is it Raynard?
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, okay.
I came number one to support the fire department. You know, but it was the best interest of Deerfield. Want that to happen. But also, 2 years ago, we presented the concept of pickleball courts for the township for social and recreational and all around good time in Deerfield. So I'm hopeful that if the grant hasn't started to go through yet, if someone can still keep that on the burner to when the opportunity presents itself to write a grant to try to raise some money to put in pickleball courts, because I really feel it's still a growing sport, even more so. People are driving to Salem and Canfield and everywhere but here. And if you go to those places, you'll meet people that are from here that would love to be together in the local place. So if we could help, you know, to get that moving, very much appreciated, as we have quite a few residents in here.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Chris Zito?
I'll hold my comments until the next
Okay.
meeting. Thank you.
You're welcome. There are no others.
Okay. Department updates. We'll start with Mr. Suderman, Road Department and Maintenance.
Road department, we started making some rounds on the roadside mowing. Weather's been not cooperating too well with us, but we're getting most of the rounds done. We've got single pass on everything except for a few town off of 225. We'll continue that in between other projects. So we'll get all the intersections opened up before we get this.
Sorry.
We've got some road patch work to do, build up and fix a couple spots as well. I'd like to get, since our main meetings will be next month, as far as getting approval and see if I can get 10 loads of asphalt approved. Any estimated cost of $7,500.
I make a motion that we purchase asphalt 10 loads for $7,500.
Second.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Next, the international dump truck had a power steering leak, we had a bad clamp and a couple bad fittings. That was purchased and repaired. Total cost on that repair was $110. That was, the parts came from Alliance Motors. don't know if you need to.
We don't need to make a motion on $110 for, and that was an emergency repair for one of our trucks we had to have, so.
And Treasure Boulevard, I know we had discussed this a couple of meetings back. We got a quote to have, there was 2 trees that are right on the edge of the road there leaning, that need to be taken down. Like we got a quote for $300 from Rayland's Tree Service. Let's see if we can approve that to have them removed. That's one of the roads that's on the chip and seal list for the season, so the dump trucks and the spreader need to be able to get through there, so those will be hindering us in that way.
That's the one that he quoted as $300, but then he wanted an additional $300 to haul away if I'm talking about the same tree.
I just reread it, it's 300 for.
It's 3
For everything,
for
okay,
everything.
okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Send you a copy of the text.
Thank
so,
you.
yeah.
Do we already have a motion on that? Have we done that already?
I don't think we
No.
make a motion, we better make a
It was
motion.
tabled last night.
I'll make a motion to regulate street service, remove those trees on, what is that down there? Treasure Boulevard for the cost of $300.
Second.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Yes.
And same difference, this is just a parts replacement that would replace the 100-foot hose, pressure washers, and they get a new one, and it costs $200. As long as we put it out there, that had to be done. That's all I have for this for now.
Cody, our employee, drug everything, every piece of equipment out of our building down there, had everything staged to start pressure washing. About a minute and a half into it, blew a hole inside the hose. So they called me and I did go to Lowe's and pick up the replacement pressure hose. So and they did get it done and everything. So I'd like to make a motion to pay them $200 for a replacement hose on the hot water pressure washer.
I'll second.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Now, we'll jump over to cemeteries. Again, the driveways hardly raked. They do need stone to top them. I don't know how we need to go about it. Maybe discuss it with the Cemetery Association. We're looking at around 150 tons of stone to be in Deerfield driveways. That would be the number 8 limestone. I only have one price quote of $37 a ton. So we did the Deerfield driveway, looking at a cost of $5,550. Stone cost, and then Hartsville Cemetery driveway is at 80 tons. And it cost us $29.60. But we made up with the Cemetery Association on the meeting, made one of their meetings, and talked with them. They have a decide number-wise, but I want to make sure it was in the minutes.
It's probably been 10 years since 10 or more years since we put stone in a driveway. It's been a long time since we have.
It's for sure better.
He hardly raked them, they look nice, but there is no stone there to work with anymore, it's just gone.
Didn't the Cemetery Association, we had this discussion last year, and they said they were, I thought they said they were willing to donate, but they wanted to rake first to see what they really needed, but maybe we need to revisit that conversation.
Yeah, they did say they wanted to break it, and then they would revisit on the stone, so.
When's their next meeting? I can't remember.
October?
Yeah, October. I can ask them to have a special meeting. Case we're here.
No.
Thursday.
One thing to keep in mind, Tim got a price on white number 8 limestone. There is number 8 gray available. I'm gonna say it'd be maybe $3 to $4 a ton less expensive, but it's dark gray and not white, so just to keep that in mind. I think I could get it for $3 or $4 a ton, but it's not that much money difference, just so there is a cost comparison. Yeah, and it's gonna be a dark gray as opposed to that nice white that's in there, it makes it look nice and everything. I like it.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what maybe they want to do, maybe discuss that with them before we make a decision on it. We can split it or how we want to do it. Maybe just do one this year, one next year, or something like that. The next thing, the little white building, one guy, Mike, he's got that thing fixed up, boards replaced on it, got some, one coat of paint on it. We do need additional paint, with our meetings being far in between. We'll probably have them go ahead and get a coat of paint on the one parcel as well. So, want to see if we can improve, up to another $500.
And I think Hartsel does need some repair work too, but not near as substantial as
Yeah,
Deerfield.
nothing major.
We end up putting a tremendous amount of work into that little white building in Deerfield. Yeah, when we started on it.
So you need a motion for paint?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion for paint in the amount of $500 to be used at Deerfield and Hartsel.
Where are you getting the paint? Well, before we make that motion, maybe we should discuss the other paint issue. In February, we had made a motion to repaint the old town hall. My council donated all of the labor, and we had made a motion that we would pay for the paint. I went up to Sherwin-Williams to place the paint order, and I understand it's on hold.
Yes.
Okay, what do we do?
Because I was not known anything about that. You're lucky it was like left at that, because we're getting a lot of emails saying that we have to watch from the auditor's office about scamming. Nobody had told me that they would actually do the account, and then the account is in your name, and your account can't be in your name. It has to be in the
Deerfield
Fiscal.
Township.
Yeah, but it has to be contacted.
Okay.
So all
We
you have
can
to do
change that,
is.
yeah. But we did vote on it in February.
Yes, but we didn't vote to open an account. That's the.
We did.
No.
No, we did not.
We discussed it multiple
We discussed it,
times.
but
We
yeah, but you
have an
to make a
account,
motion
we have an
to-
account of Lowe's,
to
so
correct.
there's a complete line of Sherwin-Williams
Yes.
paint. Why would we open up another account for Sherwin-Williams paint where we go Lowe's and get
The
it back?
account was for $5,000 too, and that's what the
Yeah, we
auditor
only
knows.
approved $800, so they count for
We
$5,000.
didn't even ask for an amount, we just asked for the order for the paint, because that's where we had all
And
talked about.
I got it, like I said, I got it in the mail.
We talked about using Sherwin-Williams paint. Lowe's sells a complete line of Sherwin-Williams
Actually,
paint.
we specifically discussed opening an account at the Alliance in Sherwin-Williams.
Not
In
that I
detail.
remember.
We did. We did.
I told
But,
you that.
but again, why would we open one when we go to Lowe's? We already have an account and credit cards and I the same
Just to
thing.
get the best deal, because we're a township, they wanted to give us a discount, and they gave us a pretty good price. So
If you have.
you're not gonna get that price at
Lowe's,
Lowe's.
then
If you guys make
We
a
do have
motion,
to
you
tell them
go ahead and
they
go
have
through
to put on
Sherwin-Williams, I'll go up
Sherwin-Williams
and sign the papers.
And they give us
But I need to know when you
discount.
open an account.
So it's like 30.
What's
I
that?
can get 30, he said the Lowe's discount is 5 to 10%.
We
I
get,
can get 30.
and they, yeah, their prices were just way
But-
better. So before we go and buy the Lowe's, let's just make sure we get the best price.
I'm gonna quote on both.
Yeah, but again, we don't have an account yet at Sherwin-Williams.
Well, whatever it is that was held up on your end, just if you wanna take care of that with them.
You guys
that's all
make a
we need.
motion to open one
I'll make
there.
a motion that we open an account with Sherwin-Williams and Alliance to purchase paint for township, necessities.
Okay, and I'll second it.
I will vote yes on that.
And I have, oh, go ahead, finish the vote, the roll call.
Okay, Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes, so whichever is cheaper, but, you know, sometimes they give you a better deal.
Okay, and I still have a motion on the floor to allow for $500 worth of paint at Hartsel and Deerfield Cemetery.
Second.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. And just whichever is the best deal.
Whoever gives us the best price.
And then, so we have a handful of mud mats that we purchased. We've been filling it in with plywood, with the new vehicles, back in the trucks and off the drives and stuff. Our plywood's just delaminated, it's getting pretty rough shape. Like trying to just slowly add additional mud mats to, sort of phase out some of the plywood. So I got a quote for five mats or $240 each. And what we do with those, we take and cut them down the middle, so we have our two separate lanes just for where the tires are.
That's separate than the metal rollout things we had for.
Correct. These are just a flexible mat for off-road. But the five mats total $1,200 from Tucker Supply.
Need a motion?
They're helpful.
Do we have enough money in the cemetery fund to buy these? I don't know what's in them.
Ed, can I say something? Our deal gave you all the mud mats you want. He's got 2 files up there.
You know, that is something to consider. He bought a bunch of those.
Those are the big wooden.
Oh, yeah, those are those big wooden 6x6 ones. We're talking about 1-inch thick, made out of, we have no way of transporting and handling those ones he has. You gotta have a front end loader to move those.
I'm just saying, he would be a kid.
Yeah.
Those are pretty dry. They're actually like, they're done.
Yeah.
So rubber type mat,
Yeah.
like a rubber composite. Okay. Okay, getting back.
They come in really handy. It is a pain when you gotta keep moving from the front, back to the front as you're doing it. Do you think that we have enough money to?
It's $1,200.
And again, this is something we could ask the Cemetery Association at the next meeting if they would reimburse or help in those or whatever.
So just a little tidbit about that, I know they're very focused on beautifying the cemeteries, and that secondarily beautifies the cemetery, but you might have an argument there.
Keep some of the mess out,
But it would make the cemetery really ugly if we didn't have these matches.
Gotcha, I'm just saying that's usually how they look at things.
I need to focus on the beautiful part. Yeah.
You can't say, look at these beautiful mud spots we don't have.
Sure.
But yeah, I get it.
I'll put them down and walk on them, then we'll get one on the shoes. Maybe that'll help us out a little bit there.
There, look at.
What was the cost of the gravel again?
Gravel, 37 tons on the number 8 white limestone.
No, the total there.
Total Deerfield Cemetery driveway is 5,550 for 150 ton.
Okay.
Parcel driveway is
2960.
2960 for 80.
For 80 ton.
Okay, thank you.
No, for 12. And then if we go to, yeah, but if we go to ask the cemetery association to help, because they've got, so we could.
Nancy and I say yes.
Okay, well, I make a motion that we purchase 5 mud mats for the cemetery, estimated cost $1,200 total.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to buildings and grounds. Hey, do you have an update on the gazebo?
Yeah, actually, I got to talk about the gazebo. As you know, a meeting or so ago, or a while back, I asked you guys permission to send the architect a letter to bring things up to date, so we can go on with their project. No response whatsoever. Numerous phone calls, emails, no response whatsoever. I briefly talked to Mr. McCarty about sending him a legal letter from the county, removing him as our architect of record and demanding our $3,000 that we paid back. We talked about that before too, but the first step was we're getting no response back whatsoever from him.
What's his name?
Norm Sager out of
I
Louisville.
spoke to him today.
What do you say?
It's not even my phone. I asked him about where we were with things, and he had some issues about some delays, and said he was hoping to get things over to us next week. So it was pretty vague, but yeah, I called him and he did call me
A
back.
long extended conversation with the building department today. They have not heard from Norm Sager since December 6th.
Spoke to him by about 3 o'clock today.
You did, or the building department did?
I did.
And I talked to the building department about one, and they said they hadn't heard from him. They have no idea what's going on. So I'm okay either way. But I did talk to our insurance company too. We're still okay time-wise. But
Sending a letter may inspire him to move a little more quickly.
I hope it does, but there's a big list of things right there. Now, along with that, we do have a new head building official on Portage County. He is willing to entertain someone taking a good look at that and throwing out some blueprints for a repair, as opposed to tearing it down and starting all over. The previous building official said absolutely not. This one, when I talked to him today, he said meet with someone, get a plan together, see what if it's feasible at all to do, which I do think it's feasible. I don't see why not. The new building official would be very willing to work with us on the repair as opposed to a total tear down, he said.
So we're gonna put out quotes, bids?
No, well, we have to get someone to look at it. I called,
Someone from the county.
well, no, we need someone to look at it like an architect type deal.
Structural engineer.
Frank Pavlik, who did the blueprints for our addition to the fire department, I called him today. He's willing to come out and just take a look at it. No charges or anything, and see what he thinks. To go with that, he'd like to meet with you Wednesday just to look at it, and then we'd have to decide then if we're going to move forward. Some of the problems with tearing it down and rebuilding it are they're worried about how thick the cement is. To build on top of it, they got to have engineering studies on that. We don't have that. We don't know how thick they build it. If we repair it, that's probably not going to come into effect because we're only going to rebuild certain things of it. So maybe something we're going to have to look at, since we have a new guy that's willing to at least look at it. It could speed things up quite a lot, actually. I don't know, what do you guys think? I didn't know Norma told you that today, but I've got 15 emails into him, a dozen phone calls, a letter, no response whatsoever. It doesn't even exist. And now he tells you next week he's going to get back to us on it. The building department says he has never responded to their notification in December that all the corrections did to those prints before they'll do study.
Hey, if they want to have a look at it for free and see if it can be repaired, I'm all for that.
I am too.
But then we'll have to decide then if we're going to hire him to do new prints for it or whatever, then I can go to work with the insurance company on that. What a mess.
Can we use our new insurance company?
No.
Ohio?
No.
We have to use the old
This is something that was way before them, but our insurance company that was working on it is still willing to work on it. It's something that they had started and they're willing to follow through and finish this. So that's unfortunate. He told you that. I'm not going to hold my breath that he's going to do that, to be honest with you.
Is that the same guy that's working on the fire station addition too?
No.
Oh.
Speaking of the fire station addition,
he's not doing very well with that.
Well, those prints are done and approved and everything. We can pick up our blueprints to put our addition on our fire building. I was going to bring that up.
Beautiful.
That was wait years. While we were talking about limits of ground, so the blueprints have been approved for our addition. Now, are we moving forward with an addition on there, or are we joining the damn fire district? Our well's going in late this week up there. Are we putting a well in, or are we going to join the damn fire district? Why spend this money if we're going to...
You're still years away from a fire district.
No, that you still own the building.
Yeah, and I get all that, but we're paying for that stuff. The community agreed to let us spend this money to do that. If we're not going to have a fire station there.
But you don't know that.
Well, again, that's my question. Are we going to join the fire district or are we not?
Are we going to be outside?
Do we want to spend $140,000?
Are we going to be outside? Seriously, it's been going on for years.
Right.
We're dragging our feet and do something.
Do we want to spend $140,000 for a year down the road?
Yes.
For us to have a fire district and not use our building?
Who knows?
Well, you're
I'm
talking
asking.
a twofold situation. You're talking about the well that needs to go in because we don't even have water that we can
Right,
drink
the
or
well-
really wash our hands with.
The well's just another thing. I mean, and that was paid for by a grant, so that'll run regardless.
Yeah, but you brought the well up. So
I did,
definitely-
I did, just because.
The building secondary. However, you guys made a motion to do the building over a year ago. It should have already been done by now. And the building was just finished.
It should have, but I'm not an architect. I didn't draw the prints and I'm not capable of drawing them. They are approved at the county now. The guy from the county called and told me they're approved, so.
But the board is the project.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Here we are right now. The prints are available.
I'd like to move forward.
Well, I'll get the blueprints, I'll get a permit then, and then we can put it out for bid. That's part of the process.
This has already been okayed and approved.
Yeah,
To do all this stuff. That has something that would make everybody in the district say, we don't want a district. Forget about it, you know? We're going ahead with what we
I was just
think.
throwing it out there for food and thought for everybody.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the busiest stations in the district. Why wouldn't they use it? If they do the
a study, right?
Just ask him.
Information.
Yeah, just ask him. I'm okay with it. I'm not saying no, I'm just throwing it out there. Are we gonna do it? So,
In any potential situation, we're still going to need the facilities and repairs, so I say, I would like to
Okay.
move forward. I understand where you're coming from. but
no,
yeah.
I'm just asking. I'm not saying not to do it by any means. I just bring it up. So now I need to make a motion to pay whatever fee it is to get the building permit. It's gonna be $200 or $300.
I make a motion that we pay less than $500 to
Yeah.
get the building permit.
And I second it.
What it is, whatever the permit cost is, the township gets it for 50%. That's why I don't know exactly what it is.
Right.
So,
Ed, you gonna say yes?
second, yes.
Okay, Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Sounds good to me, actually.
Okay.
Okay, while we're on buildings and grounds, the last accident up there at the circle. It was a 38-year-old gentleman. He was on his way home to Salem. It was 1:14 in the morning. Drugs and alcohol were not involved in that. He just flat out made a mistake. He called the sheriff, waited there for the sheriff. They took his car and everything. They cited him for failure to control. Our insurance company's already been in contact with him. What did we come up with? About $1,500?
1,800.
$1,800 some dollars we figure for repairs of everything there. We're gonna get that wrote up on our letterhead, present it to our new insurance company. They're gonna take care of whatever it is and go after this guy's insurance. So this should be relatively quick to get that part done right there.
And hopefully our new insurance company will act swiftly.
They will. They've been calling every day about this since I turned it.
Good, good.
I missed that, hit the flower pot though.
Hit the flower pot, it's got a crack in it, it don't hold water. I mean, not a big deal, but it's $100 or $150.
Yeah.
Whatever, I mean, so. Tim and I worked on that. Tim worked on it a lot today, and I called and got prices and everything, so there we are right there.
And then Timmy, you still had a few things on the list?
Just, yeah. So, we had our sales rep from the 21st century stopped in today and was talking with us about propane. I guess I didn't give any thought. So we price checked with them and Powers Propane and our current supplier. Our current supplier is priced right now, our last fill was $2.99 a gallon. The switch over to either one of the other companies are both the same price. The initial install fill is $1.49 a gallon, and then $1.79 a gallon after that. So
Are they price locking or giving us a contract?
they're price locking the $1.79.
Salem.
Right now it's Superior, so 21st Century group of branches or Powers, either way. They're both the same price.
Okay.
So up to you guys if you want to
Save money?
change suppliers. Yeah, it's probably something every couple of years we
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Just like a one.
So it's going to be either company. I know we already deal with 21st Century. That's our fuel, our gas and fuel come from them. So if it's something we want to stick with them on the propane as well, we can, or Powers, they would go the same price.
Powers was the one that was $1.79.
Powers and 21st Century.
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference?
21st Century, probably only because we.
Who's gonna get out there more quickly?
Well, we already have our fuel with them.
We already get our fuel with them. We're dealing with one company.
Sounds good to me.
So we making a motion to switch?
We're not switching, or we are switching? We're switching because you said that
Well, yeah, right, so, yeah, Superior propane, so we have now $2.99 a gallon.
Superior,
so,
okay.
yeah, So, yeah, I would recommend switching them in.
But we're already
We
using
wanna do it.
21st for other things.
Yes.
Okay, so I
Just
make a
not
motion, gotcha, I make a motion that we switch our propane from Superior, all right,
Yeah.
to 21st Century for the better price savings.
Second.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Second?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. What else you got?
The only other thing I have, and they already brought it up, the well will be drilled later this week, and they should have everything hooked, the install hookup should be done early to mid next week.
This is the fire department.
That's at the fire department, yes.
Progress. Very good. Anyone have anything else for the road department or buildings and grounds?
I do.
Okay.
The Township Hall was rented May 24th for a wedding reception. People were from, I think, Warren. This is a note from Sylvia. Whoever had the hall this past weekend left it a terrible mess. I already was on that. I came in Saturday night after they left to lock up. Here's a note I added to hers. When I came up here to lock up, I opened the front doors, smelled nothing but cigarette smoke. I walked back here, those windows were wide open, these windows were wide open. That door was hanging open because it had been forced open so far it bent the rods at the top. I had to go down to the garage and get wrenches so we could even close the door. I picked up 2 cigarette butts out of the men's bathroom that night. Sylvia picked up cigarette butts out of the kitchen floor. The floor out here had never been touched. There was stuff spilled everywhere. You walked through the kitchen, you almost pulled your shoes off the floor, it was so sticky. My recommendation is that we do not return their security deposit.
Do we need a motion?
Sounds like they don't want their security deposit.
And if we do that, we're gonna have, I was gonna ask you to do a letter in our letterhead to send them the reasons why. So I will make a motion that we do not return Monte Lawrence deposit of $250 because of the horrible condition this was left in when they left.
Second.
I vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. To get you all the walk it.
Yep.
Yep. Must have been a good
Must have had a good time.
Too bad time cash. Yeah, they pay cash, so we don't have to worry about them.
Just send them a
Yeah.
letter.
If we send a letter that we will not be returned.
They paid cash for the whole thing, the deposit and for renting the hall.
They knew they weren't getting anything
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
In all the years we've been here, that was the worst this place has ever been left when I came in to lock up.
Maybe I was gonna say, we need a hall of shame.
They
Cannot run
can
into
start
that.
it.
You need a higher deposit.
Yeah. It's usually very few and far
We've never-
between we
yeah.
ever have an issue. People are so respectful.
We've never had anybody smoke in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I must say, this is a beautiful hall, we rented it many times, and we always leave it just as good or better. than
Most
most
people do. Every once in a while, the rugs aren't swept in front of the doors. No, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. When that door was bent at the top open, that we couldn't even close it.
No, I understand.
That's extreme. I don't know if they had alcohol. We suspect they had alcohol, but there was no deputy present. Again, we don't know they had alcohol, but we're pretty sure they did. So it all adds up to $250.
Or damages, right?
Yeah. Well, I was able to fix it. But I'm up here at 11:30 at night working on a door so I can close and secure the building.
How much is your time?
Yeah, that's part of it.
All right. Anything else on that?
I don't.
You'll get me all the info.
Yep.
Okay.
Tracy will.
I put that, I sent that, you asked.
Is
me
the
to put
address,
that.
is the address and stuff on there?
Yes, everything's
Okay,
on
I'll
it.
get it to you then.
I'm the mean letter writer, I guess.
I think it's got that pink Post-it note on it.
Yeah,
Ed.
right there.
That's the contract. I just need it back. I have the whole thing.
There it is right there.
I'll copy this before I leave and I'll give that back to you. All right. Anything else, village business, or any other business with road department, maintenance, buildings, grounds?
I have a question. Is 224 the state route, they take care of that?
Yes.
There's a big pothole on 224 going out towards the dam, just before you get to Diver Road on the right-hand side. I mean, I hit it once, and it's like they put something in it, but it's still gotta be about a foot deep, it seems like.
I'll give a call to Brian.
Okay.
See if we can go down,
Thank you.
take care of it.
They came really quick today. They removed the deer out of my front yard. I called at 7:30 and by 10 the deer was gone.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they did a good job.
All right, if there's nothing else, let's move on to the fire department. Chief Dean is gone. All right, Captain Park.
Captain Bardo.
Captain
Maybe
Bardo.
we're in
26 calls, 15 EMS, 2 fire, 4 for service, and 5 motor vehicle accidents. Kaylee and Cody both passed their paramedic test and are now here.
Short and sweet. Yeah, the paramedics tests are not easy to pass, so that's wonderful. Hopefully they'll stay with us for many years to come.
I have something I forgot, buildings and grounds.
Okay.
Along with the Apple Butter Festival that the Civics does every year as a fundraiser and returns the money for the most part, for all parts actually, to the township. I was supposed to bring this up the last meeting, but we got busy and I forgot. They would like to have a carnival along with the Apple Butter Festival. The carnival will set up over in the park over there.
Kids carnival.
A kids carnival. They've talked to the people that operate the carnival. I've talked to our insurance carrier, they're good with it because they have their own liability insurance too, the carnival does.
Yes.
They're asking to do this on Sunday, so they're asking to use the township properties another day.
2 days instead of 1.
Will there be a dump tank? We could make a lot of money on a dump tank, I think.
We tried that.
The only cost in the township, they do require electric, which we can provide over there, so that'll be the only cost to the township was providing electric.
Yeah, in order to get them, it had to be 2 days, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, so it's not just Sunday, it's both days?
Yes,
Right.
Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday's not till noon. It starts at noon, because they don't start till noon on Sunday.
Yeah.
But they're close, they're right out of Columbiana. I mean, I never thought we'd found somebody that close. Dates are almost impossible to get. Most of those places are booked out years ahead.
Food trucks?
They do have food trucks, they have a fun house, they have games. That's the whole package.
They provide all the personnel, we have to do no personnel work, nothing. They provide the ticket sales, everything. We just have to provide that day.
Sounds fun.
So all we need is
I'll make a motion, we allow the Civics to host a 2-day kids carnival at the Township Park in addition to our Apple Butter Festival.
What's the date, September? We moved it
28th or 27th, something like that. It's the last weekend.
last weekend of September, I'll
Yes.
second.
I vote yes.
Mrs.
Laura? Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes. Rethink the dump tank, rethink it.
Will you get in it?
Yep.
You got no tank.
If it makes money, sure.
We rent that locally.
I'll get in it and Ed and Laura get in it.
No, that's not what you just said.
Take backs.
They look like they want to get in though.
If it's 55 degrees.
That's why we moved the date.
I've seen people jump in water on New Year's Day. All right, back to fire department. We have a levy to discuss.
Yep.
So we have a levy expiring. That levy is for infrastructure. And it will be up for whatever we decide to make it. Renewal, replacement, new levy. I know people have been hit pretty hard this year with increased taxes, and it's been a hardship for many people. But let's open discussion on the levy.
What we have to decide right now is currently a 2.5 mil levy, which will have to be turned into the Board of Elections prior to August 6th in order to get it on the November ballot. So I guess part of what we have to do, when we get to ask for it, we just keep it exactly as it is, and a straight renewal. The straight renewal would bring in $144,819 a year. That's not much money. You heard that gentleman back there say it's $100,000 a year per firefighter. This whole levy only brings in $144,000. Cover wages, equipment, insurance, breakdowns, whatever. But,
So our
but then again, next year we have a 1.5 mil levy, which I didn't get numbers of that because that's next year.
Next year. I mean, the current cost of our levy now for $100,000 household is $39 a year.
Right.
So, I mean, when you look at it that way, that's pretty affordable. So if we were to do a renewal, that cost would stay the same. The average home price in Deerfield with all of the increased prices is a $212,100 house. So a renewal, you know, at that price would be $82.72 a household. A replacement would be $186.65. Just a little bit of math about how that would affect everybody in the township.
If we would go for a replacement at the same millage, the yearly income would go to $280,343 for exact same millage, only a replacement which goes by the newer property values. That's the property values 15 years ago. This levy's been the same for years. We haven't changed
For a long time.
a long time.
So if we were to go to a replacement, that would, per $100,000, be an increase of $49 per household per year, for 4 years. So, but really we do need to make a decision so we can get the levy on the ballot in time.
Right, because our legal department has to develop a resolution of necessity that has to get approved and everything, and a couple other things have to happen, then we have to get this presented to the Board of Elections.
So we have to turn the resolution in.
Right, Board of Elections for review from their legal people.
I think with the status with property taxes right now and everybody in another over that, I don't really think a replacement's the way to go. I think a renewal would be the best.
Renewal, it updates, right?
Renewal keeps the same millage, but it goes on the current value as opposed to the value
17 years.
15, 17,
Yeah,
18
okay.
years ago. Renewal stays exactly the same, only it's on current property values as opposed to what it was back then.
Right.
Renewal, I think, is the way you need to go.
One thing to keep in mind,
Replacements might not even be legal.
They may do.
yeah, that's a
But you're gonna
lot
have
of
to
stuff that's
replace
not
fire
true.
trucks.
One thing to keep in mind is though, if we put this on the ballot this fall for whatever we put it on, and for whatever reason it would not pass, we still have next year to put it on again, without any loss of money. So that's something to keep in mind if we want to try a renewal as opposed to, or a replacement as opposed to renewal. Just something to think about. We still would have time to get it on next year's ballot. Different as exactly like it is
That
or
would be
whatever.
a big increase next year though.
Yeah.
However, if they pass this new House bill that they're trying to pass, they're trying to limit, basically, as far as property taxes are concerned, townships will not be touched. However, any levies or anything that townships currently have, they're saying they cannot be more than what they have in 2024, if they pass that. So.
But that, I don't think that'll pass before the November election.
Yeah, once our levy goes in and we submit it, it's there. So, well, I'd like to make a motion that we just submit a renewal.
I don't like to spend money or ask for more money any more than anybody else, but I kind of disagree with you on the fact that this levy has been for so many years without an increase in it. Our costs are going up tremendously in the fire department for manpower, for labor, for equipment and stuff. That $144,000 honestly does, what did we pay last year in wages? $130,000 in wages, or thereabouts for our members of the fire department. There's that whole levy right there gone. That's just gone. There's no money left over.
We're getting towards the end of our FEMA grant too.
Absolutely.
Well, where are you gonna come up with the money to buy new trucks? Because the number is 20 years old.
We haven't bought a new truck in how many years?
Since 10?
How long's it been?
Which truck?
The Hummer?
That's an 06.
06?
That's an 06.
96 or 70, yeah, so it's been years since we've bought new fire equipment, years.
The ambulance is the newest thing in like 2015.
Yeah, the ambulance, the new ambulance we bought is already like 10 years old, 8 years old. We bought a second used one, you know, their life expectancy's gonna run out too.
So you need a couple $1 million to buy both of those. You think I'm kidding? The ambulance is $300,000 to do anything.
Yeah.
You're looking at your tankers, yeah. And the tankers is another $1 million.
I am too.
And the other thing is too, the voters have to approve it.
Yes.
I think the voters would approve if you raised it, if you would state that we need new equipment.
Now, keep in mind, if we would ask for a replacement levy and the community would pass it, if we did decide to join a fire district and move forward, those levies would disappear. Our levies would disappear then.
So they would put,
Am I correct in
the
that?
entire district would have to put on a new levy, and if that new levy passed, all of the other levies in those districts would be null and void, if I understand that correctly.
That is my understanding also.
Right, existing tax levies can be expired early by way of trustee approved resolution. And they would just need to be filed with the auditor's office prior to submitting tax rates in November.
I hate to ask for it, but I'm almost thinking we should ask for a replacement at the current millage.
You don't have concerns about that passing?
I do.
No, I mean Ohio with taking the replacements away. I don't think it would happen this quickly.
I don't think it would happen prior to that. I think it's our legislatures who, for the last 20-some years, have set back and let our property taxes just go nuts and wasting money and everything. And I think this is their way of trying to make themselves look better, honestly. It's not as dire a situation as what they want to make everybody think it is. They're scrambling now because they've done nothing for years. This tax levy passes, new waiver of property taxes. Our legislatures got to come up with some way of funding the townships, the villages, the municipality, because we use a lot of our real estate tax money to fund this, to fund the fire department stuff. No real estate taxes, no income. It's going to be a big adjustment for everybody.
Our taxes are a lot cheaper than most towns. I haven't inflated those like they did.
Am I correct, Mike, what I'm saying? For the most part.
Absolutely.
And I know you guys looked into it too. I mean, I hate to ask for any more than what we have, but the opportunity would be to put it back on for a replacement then in the next year without any income loss. That's the only reason I would even think about asking for a replacement as opposed to a strict renewal.
You mean in the next election?
In the next election?
A renewal.
A renewal. We'll go back to
Go
our
back to the
original renewal.
And we wouldn't be out anything.
We would not lose any money in that period.
I like that.
It gives us a second opportunity to go to the voters, if we need to go to the voters a second time.
It's just going to be doubled up with another levy.
Yeah.
That's it. Next
Right.
year, you got the other
But they
levy
would pay
coming
both
up.
levies
You
either
don't
way.
want
Same way,
to
yep.
do it at the same time.
I don't know what to say. Obviously, $144,000 is not a lot of money for a levy for the fire department. It goes very, very quickly. I don't know the exact number of wages, but it was around $130,000 last year, just in paying our people to work. So that left virtually no money for anything else.
I mean, if you listen to the conversation earlier when Randy and them were talking and others, and Chuck Palmer said, one employee is $100,000.
Right.
Benefits a year. One.
Right.
You have a staff, and you spent 133.
And what's the district talking for a millage? 5 if we go for it? Is that numbers in my head somewhere around
We
5
haven't
mil?
talked millage yet because we don't know where it's headed, how big of an area we need to cover.
What do you guys think? I know you got a motion on the floor, but
Yeah, I mean, you can put it on and ultimately your voters decide whether or not they're going to pay it or not.
Well, voters have never turned down fire levy.
That's true, but this year, just a concern, because taxes have been really hard on everybody this year. It's a bad year
But we
to,
gotta have it.
we have to have it.
But if it does work, we have
next
We
year.
do have one more opportunity to go back and just ask for a renewal, like it was, or make tweaks or whatever we want to do. We do have one more opportunity.
Hey, can you go back on to May?
What's that?
Can you go on to the May election?
No.
Why?
It's May.
It could possibly.
It is May.
It is May?
It is May, because
Is
it'll
that
be
what
on
they told us?
November, and then if
Okay, then we
it
could,
doesn't pass,
then
we
we
go May.
could back up and put it on the May election.
And then you're saying our other one would go on in November again?
Right, then the 1.5 would go back, would be on in November
Yes.
of next year also.
So it's like a school board school board levy
Yeah.
that fails and they put it back on in May. I mean,
Yeah.
you can always try it. You can
Yeah,
try
that's
it
right, they
then.
did say it could go on the
Yes.
May election.
Yes.
I don't know, I just feel bad for residents whose property taxes went up 35–40%.
You mean my truck or your truck?
Well, the auditor, he says it went up 35–40%.
Ours also went up tremendously.
Yes,
but-
it went up tremendously.
Right.
I just got my bill. Mine went from like 800 a half to 2,200 a half.
Yeah.
We haven't asked for a replacement in a really long time.
A long time.
We can consider it a cost of living. Well, I like the discussion. It does make me think a little bit more about it, because I was really coming into this thinking renewal, but.
One other thing before
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have to call Mary Kaylee and find out, I wonder if the school board's gonna have a levy on. Because they were supposed to have a levy on last year. And they pulled it because of the property tax increase coming up in CUV. And they've not put it
And when
back.
Frank Voss and another member of the school board said they are not going to do it because the increase in the property taxes took care of the money that they were looking for. Now, it doesn't mean that doesn't change, but
Right, okay.
but that's what I was told.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean,
Laura does have a motion on the floor, no one to second her, and I won't second it this time.
I don't think I'm gonna second it either.
Okay, then I rescind my motion for the renewal.
Well, it just lies for lack of a second, that's all.
Yes.
Now, what's our next step? I'll be the bad guy. I'm gonna make a motion that we put a replacement levy at the same millage on the November election for fire department, which would bring in an estimated $280,000 a year.
I'm gonna second that.
I'll vote yes, and the voters can decide.
Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes,
Tiffany?
Yes.
we shall see.
Okay. Anything else for the fire department? Any old business that we haven't already discussed? Any new business?
I don't think we missed anything, did we, Tim? I don't think we missed anything, did we?
Do we have any additional public commentary?
Yes, we have Denise Adams and we have Chris Zito left on the list for 3-minute public commentary.
Oh, and I was gonna waive mine.
He's gonna waive his until the second meeting this month.
Okay.
After
They
there's
don't
more
keep
for the
adding up,
fire.
but we'll put you over there.
I wasn't gonna sign in until I knew what the agenda really was. And
Okay, so
Laura, can I
Denise,
add myself to that list, please? Chris,
certainly, Chris, I'll add you on.
I didn't want to walk up there, so.
Are you gonna do it from your chair? Okay, you have to talk loud so everyone can hear. So go ahead, Denise.
Okay, we kind of talked about what I was going to, but recently I read a little blurb about our Apple Butter Festival and the inception of our civic association here in Deerfield. And this all came about, apparently, from this information, in 1976, in order for Deerfield to get their bicentennial recognition. I don't know if it was with the state or the county or wherever that came from, but supposedly, the Apple Butter Festival, in order to get that recognition, the township had to have an event or a ceremony or something. And that's when they come up with the Apple Butter Festival.
And that's when the Civic Association came to be. So they spearheaded that and still do. And that's just a little bit of information that I wasn't aware of particulars on it.
Deerfield history.
And I might have been on Facebook on maybe Elmira's historic sites. But I didn't know. So now we know.
Thanks for sharing.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Denise. Okay, hold on, Chris, let me reset the timer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You got 3 minutes, you're on.
It sounds to me like Deerfield's gonna have a lot of decisions to make on the fire department. So I don't know why we would be limiting the information that we have. We have people that have no idea what goes on in the fire department. We have people that have no idea about this fire district. And on day one, we want to just quiet the fire district and we want to tell them we don't want to be a part. How do we know if we want to be a part or not? We have no idea. They really don't even have a plan yet. So why would we back out in the beginning before there's any idea, any plan? It could be the worst idea in the world. It could be the best idea in the world. Somebody threw out that we could have 20-minute response times. We don't know that. We could have our station right here could be part of the district. We could have 2-minute response times. We could have 2 people paid on staff at all times. We have no idea. So why in the world would we not want to give them all the information they want for free? Now, if we started talking about money, that would not make sense, right? But we're talking about free, and we already have people that want us to not give them information. That sounds crazy to me. And talking about information, how about if we get some information from the fire department? How often is the department staffed? How often is it empty? We heard they ran X amount of calls and that's it. That's all we know about the fire department. I'd like to know what they're doing. They might be doing the greatest job in the world. The station has been staffed very well for 2 weeks since all of this stuff's come about. It wasn't staffed as well before that. So why are you guys asking them to tell us when it's staffed and when it's not? Because I've heard many people say, hey, we'll help you out if we can. Maybe we can get them help if they need it. But we have no information. We don't give out any information. We don't want any information from them. So it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not bad to listen to them. It could be terrible. But I think the residents should have all the information that they can get.
Well, the second meeting this month is just for that. And these guys come and present, ask all the questions you want. Hopefully they can answer most of the questions. And that's what the position we're all in also. We don't know a whole heck of a lot more.
But in
than what we've talked about right now
until that information from you guys about our department. Because how are we going to weigh us compared to them if we have no idea what's going on there? All we know is there was 39 calls and 2 EMS calls. That's what we know. Who ran them? We don't know. So we could all have some information, and then we can see how great we're doing and why the district would be a bad decision for us. But nobody sitting here has any idea about that information until we get it. Right. That's my whole point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Can I say something?
They are having a meeting
Okay.
next week.
Hold on.
Maybe that's something we can bring up, that this was asked.
Do you want to do public
To
comment?
see if maybe
Yeah,
they can
okay.
share more of
Okay,
that
can I have your
information since the community wants to hear it.
Well, and I listened to their thing at Elmira. They just don't have the information.
Right.
It sounds like because we're dragging our feet on giving it to them, they don't have a plan yet.
Yeah.
So I understand they're not going to have a lot of information to give us until they get a plan together, but let's wait until they submit a plan before we become against it. We don't know.
I want to hear all the information. My decision, I'll just say, will be 100% based on what is best for the community. Whatever gets us the help we need, when we need it, it makes people safe. I live here, y'all live here. I'm interested in us having the best help that we can get, no matter where it comes from. And if that's the district, great. If it's not, then it's not. But we need more information. You're absolutely correct. And one of the things that I did to try to help was make some connections from the university, because we've got students in epidemiology do the studies. Facts don't have preferences, they're just facts. So, thank you.
We had another person sign up for public commentary. Is it Kenny? How do you say your last name, Kenny?
UDD.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I lost my mother-in-law a week ago.
I'm sorry.
One for Atwater, they took Deerfield a half hour to get a squad there. Because the person on duty decided they wanted to take off when staff at the station. We just, instead of having a fire district, we need to put staff our station with at least 2 EMTs. The fire district's gonna make everybody's taxes triple. And it's still gonna take a half hour to get a squad.
I don't think it's gonna take longer. Randy's back there shaking his head.
Just my opinion, do not.
The fire district.
Deerfield Township is, Brian said, you guys are the biggest entity in the district.
Right.
We
just need more
We would not
staffing.
do a good service if we left that station. There's a lot down here. The residents, there's everything.
We have 2
You guys
squads,
run
we
most
just
calls
need
out of
more
the entire
staffing.
district. So when you're staffing stations, you put them, the personnel.
Well, I understand your point, because you have to call Ravenna for a squad.
We do, we contract with them.
Right.
Yep.
What's, the fire district's gonna help you guys 100%. Because
Actually,
you're
it's
gonna,
not.
it will, because you're gonna have somebody there. But we just need more staffing.
So, look, at the end of the day, we're working on something, so by the next meeting, you have someone to present it. I mean, stuff happens. I go to work, people call every day, so, all right, shit happens.
But it should be like the person that calls off to make sure somebody's.
I get it, we're working on that.
So our taxes pay for ambulance and fire service. And right now, it's not doing very good job.
Actually, your taxes pay for the ability to have fire and EMS service. You can't always guarantee somebody's gonna be there.
Well, they're
You
gonna
can't-
have to.
You can't. You can't force somebody to be there.
We'll put it this way,
You
my
can't
attorney's
force somebody-
gonna have something to say about it.
Kenny, you can't. They can say all they want. You can't force
It's
somebody.
all reason I
That's
tell
just-
you right now, I can't find people to work, it's not just
You
you.
can't force somebody to be there.
Yeah,
Everyone.
if it's their
You
job.
can't force somebody to be there.
If it's their
You
job.
can't force somebody to be
You're
there.
wrong.
I mean,
Yeah.
So we're gonna have an opportunity to have more discussion about this in 2 weeks. I appreciate everyone's passion. All right. Anybody else for public commentary?
No, that's all.
So here's the time where I ask if we're having a second meeting. Yes, we are. We're having a second meeting. And it is a special meeting. And it is just to discuss the fire district and to address community questions and concerns and to learn more information. If there's nothing else, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting and pay our bills.
And I second.
I vote yes.
Roll call. I